Welcome to Are You Killing It, the podcast powered by Peak Performance Partners, where our mission is to help your business achieve success faster. I'm your host, Dr. John Ronaldo, and each week, our team of business experts brings you the tools and insights and strategies you need to kill it in your business. No fluff, right, Ricky?
That's
Just
right.
real talk to fuel your growth. So let's dive in. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Get busy.
Getting
Let's go.
busy.
Yes.
We're killing it. You guys are killing it here. We're in the midst of the summer warmth.
Yes.
And Peak Performance Partners is killing it. I am joined here today with the founders and masterminds of Peak Performance Partners. I got Kevin Hernandez over here.
Right here.
I got Ricky Navarre.
Heyo.
And Patrick Stewart.
Let's go.
Here we go. And today our topic is unlocking growth, an intro to our complete business analysis. So
Yeah.
this is a major tool that you guys worked on for a long time and something that you guys truly believe can add value to the businesses that you are serving here in Nevada and anywhere else. Patrick, tell me, what is the complete business analysis and why would you recommend this for any business that's out there?
Yeah. I kind of, the best way for me to explain it and that makes sense for me is, you know, when you take your car in and they plug it into the diagnostic and then they come out and they go, okay, here's what's wrong with your car. You need this sensor is out. This is all of these things are going wrong in your computer. The businesses owners, when we start working with business owners, we're like, why are some businesses achieving success faster and others aren't? And we identified 7 areas every business has. And through those 7 areas, we're like, okay, can we identify, how do we get to identify where a current business owner is at in his journey, in the business cycle, and how do we know what to work on first to make the greatest impact? We're saying, well, if we had a tool, kind of like that car, where we could dive right in, that would do it. And so we went to work, and as AI was getting developed, we plugged into that, and we found a programmer to help us create this system. And basically, we just we put 70 inputs into it, including, what type of business you in, how many markets you in, what kind of employees, what's your annual revenue, and then it just comes in and gives us a great printout of, okay, here's where you're at in these 7 areas, right? And those 7 areas are strategy, sales, marketing, human capital management, technology integration, SOPs and procedures, and then performance.
Financial performance.
And so it just tells you, then it tells us, okay, here's where you're at in your business cycle in these 7 areas. And now it says, okay, here's what you need to work on first. So it takes all that information, boils it down, and says, okay, month 1, accomplish these 3 things. Month 2, and it gives a 12-month roadmap.
Wow.
And that way, a business owner, instead of guessing, hey, what should I be working on right now? Because I think that's the thing that most business owners just don't know. They don't know what to be working on.
Yeah. So the car analogy, I think, is a really great analogy, right? Because when you're in your car driving every day, you don't necessarily notice the different sounds because they slowly come, right? And you realize your engine's crappy or something's happening with the oil or who knows what. I'm not a car guy, so I'm like the worst person to delve into this analogy, right?
And you drive an electric car, brother.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's one of my cars, electric. It doesn't make any sounds, which is great. But to your point, one of the lines that you guys often say in the trainings that you do is like, hey, we need to help you stop working in your business and work on your business,
Yes,
right? So
100%.
that's kind of where we're at and what we're talking about. So complete business analysis, we say CBA for short, right? That's what it's helping us do. Okay, Ricky, what do you think is all those 7 areas that Patrick just mentioned, what are the areas that tend to crop to the top for some of the business that you're working in? What is the 1 or 2 that's like, oh, that's always up there?
Okay, so the one that's normally always up there is going to be financials.
Okay.
Financials, it's when you start your company, you're running, and you're running your business off your bank account, right? And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, hey, can we afford it? I got money. Yeah, we can afford it. Can we advertise? And what about this? Or hey, I have a new idea and a new software. Yeah, we can buy it, right? But you're not making business decisions off your P&Ls, right? And you have to be able to look at the profit and loss statements. And one of the areas is that there's a lot of companies that even have monthly reporting, and they do one of these. Yeah, I have it. I know it's in my QuickBooks. I can run the report. They're not running their business from there, right? And so financial is one of the areas that we start to identify. And one of the biggest things that really sucks is garbage in garbage out. So when you've got numbers that are not the real accurate numbers, and you're not really running your company, making the right business decisions, and how can you start to really ramp up, especially when you want to go into growth mode and then really start getting into stability. So that's one of the biggest ones almost all the time.
So if your QuickBooks system or whatever financial stuff that you're using is not, again, inputs, if we're not using it correctly, then we're getting crap, for lack of a better term. So that doesn't help us. So then we don't have a true image of what's happening, a true vision of what's happening within our business from a financial perspective.
Yes.
Okay, so finance is probably top of the list. Kevin, what do you think is the second one that tends to come to the top?
Yeah, sure. SOPs and processes,
really?
right?
Okay.
Again, if you don't have the structure, if you're looking to scale, you can't scale when you don't have things down that are documented, right? And also understanding how a process can help move your business forward. We run into clients all the time that just don't know what they don't know because it's in their head, but they can't get it out onto paper.
Interesting. So process and procedure, that's not the sexiest topic in the world.
No, it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so that and I would guess that a lot of business owners, people who have ideas and are action oriented, probably hate that part of the work, right? Because
they don't have the
document.
time. They don't have the time to do it, right?
Right.
And so I was just coaching with a client, and we were talking about from the book, Buy Back Your Time. What are those tasks that you've got to do? The ones that you like to do, the $4 task versus the $3, $2, and $1 task, and writing processes and SOPs. Probably falls down in the $2 to $1 task.
If not zero, right?
Zero,
Right. But it also brings some of the most value, but it's the one that drains their energy.
Right, but yet when you look at succession planning, when you look at trying to empower other leaders, having that work done and documented, how great is that to say, I hate this stuff because this is not what I want to do, but I have it all documented. Let me give it to a leader or an employee or somebody I've got on my team who loves this stuff. Here you go, run with that.
That's exactly
right. That's what we're looking for.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so someone goes online, Patrick, and they can go to 3-peak.com, and the complete business analysis is there, and they can jump online probably and take it, and it spews out this report. What now? What do we do at Peak Performance Partners to help support this 12-month runway that the CBA helps you create?
Yeah, so one of the things is you can't go on, like we have a little sample one online you can take, but really for us to initiate the complete business analysis, it actually takes 30 days for us to go in, because what we want to do is we want to interview staff. We want to have our financial coach come and sit down with, whether you're doing the bookkeeping or if you have a bookkeeper or an accountant, that they come in and interview them. See, because we want to see, again, in those 7 areas, where exactly are you in the different phases, right? Because a lot of times, a company that can be successful. We have a company 19 years they've been in business. Their financials are still in the startup phase when we did our analysis, and that's where it's like, oh, so again, they're trying to build a skyscraper, right? But the foundation of their organization is not set up for a skyscraper. It's set up for a 5-story building. So as they started adding 7th, 8th, 9th story, all of a sudden things the windows weren't fitting, right? And so it's like, well, yeah, they're not fitting because you didn't build you don't have the foundation to build a skyscraper on. Although you want to build one, you have the revenues that are coming in, but things are really starting to be shaky because it's not built to sustain that kind of revenue.
So this is a hands-on thing, right? Not just like an online assessment. Like there really is. You guys come in as kind of experts in these different areas and really help do the analysis. Obviously, we have the tool that we plug in all the information, and it kind of creates that report. Okay, so it's a 30-day process. You're coming in, you're interviewing folks, you're meeting with the CEO, the founder, and you're meeting with staff, and you're looking at P&Ls, you're looking at all that stuff. You put it all into the computer, and then here you go. Here's your report, Ricky. I'm out. Is that kind of how Peak Performance Partners, or what do we do here?
Good luck.
See you later. You got work to do.
Congratulations.
See, I wouldn't want to be.
You probably think that, Kevin, but you don't say that, right? That's not very motivational for people.
Yeah, that would be a an example in customer service right there. Yeah, right. Let's talk
Where
about
customer service is failing.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
You know what I mean? No, what we do is afterwards, and here's the best part about it. Well, the thing I love, and this is me, and I won't speak for the guys, but we have designed it so that when we give you your results, it gives you the data, the information that's actionable. That, like Patrick said, here's what you need to do. Take an elephant, bite it, one bite at a time, right? And if you have the ability, if you have the wherewithal and the capabilities, you can take this and now you know exactly what you need to do, and you don't have to hire a high-priced consultant. You don't need to go spend and say, hey, well, now I've done this, you have to, no, it's, you go take it and you can go run with it and execute and start to see the momentum and see the shift in your company. Now, after the fact, if you are some of the clients that we've run into and that we've been very, very fortunate to serve, one of the challenges that comes up is, great, I now have the data. I know exactly what I need to work on. I'm just so busy in my day-to-day. I don't have time to do this. Like, I know what I need to be doing, but who's going to do this? And that's where we step in, and now we know exactly, and then we offer, hey, based on where you're at, and based on your custom results, we have custom solutions, and that's where we are very high touch, very service oriented, and we get to step in and serve, and not some cookie cutter boilerplate like, oh hey, pick option A, B, or C, right? Because your company is tailored to you, and the amount of work you've done and things you've built it's so unique that we want to be able to, but based on the data, we can say, hey, if you need this level of service, here's what we can offer, and here's who is our specialist. If you need financials, here's a financial coach. Oh, you need sales, right? Financials are great. You're killing it. You got P&Ls. You're doing your thing. Great, but you need more sales. Oh, let's bring in a sales process. Bring a sales trainer. Oh, you actually are now at a place you're killing all this, but you need HR. Let's bring in our HR as individual. So we find the right person, and we make that invitation so that if you need help, here's what it looks like, and we know exactly, and you know exactly why you're bringing us on to help move the needle, and then we go to work, right?
And we kind of have usually there's three different packages, right? So there's the kind of like, you do it yourself, right? And where we'll come in and coach you and make sure, check in on you and see how things are going. Then there's the do it with you, right? Where that's usually a little bit more of an engagement where you'll see one of our coaches, or some of our clients are working with 5 of our different coaches in the different disciplines, whether it's financial, sales, marketing, integration of policies and procedures, human resource human capital management. Sorry, Rick.
Yeah,
I know, Rick. Yeah.
So, and then, or we'll completely do it for you. Like it's
our CEO.
We've had literally organizations that say, I'm done. So we'll put in an interim CEO. We'll come in as their C-suite and literally do everything for them that is on the plan. And we'll just execute the plan.
So this is beautiful, right? So they have a tool with this 30-day analysis that you guys come in and do. The complete business analysis kind of spits out an amazing plan based on your data, based on your results, and you can run with it. But as you already mentioned, Ricky, like, we're stuck in our habits, we're stuck in our ways, and sometimes like, I don't even know where to begin, right? And so this is where you all can come in and kind of support in different ways in all these different 7 areas. Kevin, tell me about a time where the CBA really helped one of your clients really achieve a breakthrough.
So, I mean, there's several different stories.
You gotta pick
right?
one, man. You gotta pick one. Or this podcast is gonna go on for hours.
I know it will. I think probably one of the best examples is one of our contractors who basically didn't know where to go next as far as their organization, mid-sized level business, wanting to grow their people, bringing in a good size amount of revenue. The CBA actually gave them the step-by-step process along with us coming in behind them and just scaling them to the next position. They went from a company that didn't have an HR department to now they're over the threshold for implementing an HR department. I think that was probably a good breakthrough for the the CBA. It was great.
Absolutely. So how can a business leader, Patrick, I'll go to you here. How can a business leader prepare their team for what they're about to go through, right? Because many cases, there's at least a handful of employees, if not more. We'll talk about size in just a bit. But how do you help a team and the CEO be ready for a deep analysis, which some may hurt a little bit, right? As we get the data, how do we help them prepare for that?
That's pretty good. That's a good question. Well, one of the things I would say from a preparation, the nice thing is, as the business owner, you really don't. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go do homework to get ready for us to come in. It's truly because we're asking questions. We're just really seeking data. We're just coming in and finding out. Hey, in a about an hour long, our financial coaches, we know are your systems and process set up that's giving you the right information that you can run your company from financially. We can find out pretty quick. Again, do you have a documented sales process? Are you using a CRM system to document your lead flow? Are you able to track, hey, where's your best ROI on your marketing spend? So pretty quickly we're able to find that out, and so it's really not too invasive, and I would say this, all of the companies that we've come in and we start to interact with, they're actually happy because finally they already know what the symptoms are that they're seeing from the business, the frustrations they're having. So they're kind of like, well, finally we're actually doing something about this. We're finally looking at, hey, what is the root cause of the symptom? And we're going to start dealing with things at the root cause. So typically they're really happy that like the business owner has decided, oh, wow, they're actually going to bring somebody in to make a change instead of us just always talking about the same thing over and over and over and it never getting better.
So you find that, just to reiterate, you find that the team often likes this because finally we're actually doing something about it. That's what I'm hearing.
100%.
That's incredible. Ricky, obviously, small business is the backbone of the U.S. economy in so many ways, right? And so the complete business analysis, is there a certain size that it's meant for? $1 million, $10 million, $100 million organization? How many employees? Like, what's it really geared for? And because I want our listeners to kind of say, oh, this could be for me. Tell me a little bit about who the audience is for this, because is it going to work for a multi-billion-dollar organization or not? I don't know. You tell me.
So this is actually a really, really great question. So the CBA is designed for anybody who's done a few million, all right? You've hit some successes and you're starting to grow and scale. So the entry level for the complete business analysis are really those individuals who are like, hey, I've got a team about 5 to 10 employees, and I'm starting to hit a little bit of communication gaps. I'm starting to grow. And I've proven concept. You have to get to about $1 million to prove concept. And now you kind of in that place of like, oh, I'm starting to make money, but how is it I'm making $1 million? Because that was always the goal, right? I'm making $1 million, and how's it I'm broke? I'm making $2 million. I'm making $5 million. How am I, right? But the answer is really anybody who's in the space between $2 million and about $80 million. Right now, anywhere between 50 and 80 is a little unique based on industry and where they are, because those who get to the 50 to 80 million have different challenges. Okay. And then construction is the only outlier. If you're a general contractor or in that space, then our CBA is designed for anybody from 2 million to 200 million. Because it's just the way they just have bigger deals and they can go do it, but a lot of their systems and processes and how it all ends up,
they're all antiquated.
Yeah,
it's in for project management type of companies that work in that realm. The CBA is perfect for them.
So at the heart of the CBA is really your all's passion to support small business, yes, right, ultimately. So Kevin, tell me a little bit about the why. Like why did Peak Performance Partner take the time, the dollars to invest in this? I mean, we know you guys are passionate about small businesses, right? Tell me more about this.
We're passionate about the heartaches that a business owner and their organization go through daily when they're going through that journey, right? And our why was we want to be servants to those people in the business community. You guys agree?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to add on to that. One of the things that we were, why we put so much emphasis and energy into it is when we would meet with business owners, we spent so much time talking about their needs and their wants and their challenges that it was like, well, I could use help with this, I could use help with this, I could use help with this, I could use help with this. And we're like, okay, so where do you want us to start? I don't know. And so for us, we want to have the greatest impact in the least amount of time. And so we said, how do we create something that is focused, it's intentional, and it is specific, so we know, hey, here's the things, of all the areas, here's some of the stuff you're doing and good at. Let's not focus on this right now. Here's the biggest hole you have in your boat that's bringing on water, right? Let's plug this hole first. We'll get to this eventually, right? And where most business owners, they work on, a different phase. They're running. It's like, we got to get back to here. And that's why we spent so much time, because we said, we want to come in and not guess. We don't want to just say, hey, well, here's what I think we need, and say, okay, well, then let's work on it. And yeah, we can bring value and help, but we want to have amazing ROI.
And I think one of the greatest compliments that we received after executing a complete business analysis is the owner came back and said, you guys know my company better than I do.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
awesome.
Or they even said, like, I feel like you guys put bugs in our offices,
in
and
our
you were
offices
listening
and
to
heard
our
about
private
our
private conversations.
Yeah,
Like,
we
we've
didn't
been
put bugs
watching
in.
you
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of the
Just for the record, we didn't put any bugs in anybody's office.
Just wiretaps, not bugs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw one on there, the one that Hunter said. Hunter said, man, before the complete business analysis, I felt like I was a firefighter. I was always just dealing with symptoms, always putting out issues of the day, which he never really got to focus on what he needed to fix because it was just get through the day. He said, after the complete business analysis, I finally felt like I had clear direction
and clarity
in my company and what I should be doing.
That's
next.
beautiful, right? Moving away from the urgent, maybe important or not important, to the important but not urgent, right? And that's, for me, I know personally, like when I get to the point where I can focus on the important stuff, the non-urgent important stuff, that's what really moves the needle.
Yeah.
I love the servant leadership side of what you're talking about, ultimately. And that's very much your value and who you are, right? That value is ingrained in your hearts in terms of that servant leadership. And partly because you've all been there. Right? Can you imagine your businesses when you were leading businesses, paintball or whatever? And I'm like, dang, I wish I had the complete business analysis. Like you, in a way, you kind of created this for your past you also.
Well, even for our current you. I mean, we continue to do that for our strategic planning.
Yes.
We'll go and do, and I'll say this, like a year ago in 2024 when we did it, at the beginning of the year, it said, you need to have your systems integrated. And we're like, oh, we kind of went through it again and we're like, well, that makes sense. Why didn't we think about that before? Duh. But it was one of those things that it had to, because we did the analysis and it told us, hey, you're using QuickBooks, you're using Acuity, you're using Asana, you're using Microsoft Teams. Those all need to be integrated. And so then we literally took that and said, okay, took it to one of our assistants, said, okay, your job this quarter is to integrate all our systems. And all of a sudden we saw where some of the internal miscommunications were happening with us, that it cleared it up. And it's like, okay, we were too close to it to realize that's what we should be working on.
So Peak Performance Partners is really a user of the complete business analysis.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're even using it yourself.
Yeah.
And helping your scale. And you guys are scaling. You guys are growing. You're bringing
we're
on more
actually
people.
coaching
You're doing
ourselves.
more. You're coaching yourself. That's amazing. How much do you charge yourself for that, Kevin?
Boker, that's a little thing. There you go.
Boker, we're coaching ourselves. Boker.
Okay, so one last question here, right? You talk about the 7 areas. You've got people that are kind of resident experts in all those 7 areas, right?
Absolutely.
Patrick, I mean, you could probably do a lot in those 7 areas, but one of the things that you've been intentional about as Peak Performance Partners is bringing on a team, specialist, perfect word, that's going to help with that.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of these specialists. You can name them if you want, and what their expertise
I mean,
are, just so our listeners know that there's more to this team than just the crazy 3 of you all.
Yeah, and I think I call it you got to almost have gray hair to be in the business that we're in. But one of the
Or no hair.
or no hair. Yeah. But one of the One of the experts that we recently brought on was she's a triage expert, meaning this. We can come in and it comes back to that financials. So people don't understand their financials, but they also don't understand how do I get in and fix this? Where do I start? So she'll actually come in and Deb Greasy is her name. No relation to Bob Greasy, but we've asked. But she'll actually come in and look at the QuickBooks or look at whatever system you're using. Most of our business owners use QuickBooks. And then she's an expert in QuickBooks. So she'll say, okay, let's see what you've got. And very quickly she'll say, okay, yep, you're not set up properly. So she'll actually come in and put her hands on your keyboard, log in, set up your cost centers properly, set up everything properly. So now, as you're entering the data in, it's going in the right place that you can pull something from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh my God, I need that right now.
Yeah, I think to that point too. She came in and she goes, I see so many systems that are so mucked up, right? I have to come in and triage. Act as like set up the tent. Let's bring in all the structure that you don't have, and let's start to put the stuff back together.
But ultimately, with that, Servant Heart, right? We want you to grow. We want your business to succeed. So let's go, right?
Uh-huh.
So let's go. So let's put in the work. The complete business analysis, what I'm hearing is really a foundational tool to help businesses get started, right?
It's just how we start, because how do we go in and tell you how to fix the problem when we haven't analyzed it and decided, hey, what is the true problem we should be working on first?
So you'd recommend everybody do this.
Yeah.
Come
Oh, yeah.
on board and make
Kind of like back to the
Large,
medical
small,
example. You know what I mean? You need an MRI, right? You go get an MRI, and it's going to scan you and be like, hey, here's the thing that's going on.
No, so I'm the oldest out of all these cats here. The analogy that I'm going to use is my check engine light came on when I turned 57, and I had to go in, and it's not until they start to draw blood. They actually do the analysis on the blood. They're like, boy, you're in trouble, right? And that's what the complete business analysis does, right?
So we're drawing blood. Peak Performance Partners drawing
We are drawing blood. That's right.
I hope none of you out there get a little woozy with the seeing blood. So here we go. Okay, Kevin, last question. I'm going to end with you here. Listener, you're here listening to this podcast, watching this podcast. They're in. What do they do? Where do they go? How do they find out more about this? What's their
they can
first step?
jump on our website,
Okay.
3-peak.com. If you need more information on who we are, what we do, and how we do it.
And the number 3, don't spell out 3, right?
the number
absolutely.
3-peak.com.
3-peak.com. And all the information is there. That's the best place to find out more about it. Click on the information and then, and then connect with you guys about it, right?
Absolutely,
Ultimately, for
100%.
so.
I love it.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much. This sounds like a phenomenal tool. Like, I want it for my personal life. Can you do a complete business analysis on my personal life?
Yeah,
That would be
absolutely.
really great.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
really good.
That's the next product.
And then next product we're coming
we
out
can do
there.
that.
We'll
That's
fix your
actually there is
business
one.
and
There
your
is one of
marriage.
those. It's called the Bible.
Oh, there you go.
B-I-B-L-E.
Basic instructions before leaving it.
I love it. I love it. All right, gentlemen, thanks again for another great episode of Are You Killing It? The podcast here to help your business achieve success faster. So here we go. We're going to roll this one in and be done with it. Gentlemen, thank you again so much for being here today, and we'll see you next time.
All right.